Hi everybody and welcome to my final project. I did an e-portfolio in Canvas to try to highlight some of the things that I've done in this class and in other classes, because I'm starting to put together my e-portfolio to wrap up the program in about a year. So this was a great way for me to start organizing my thoughts and some of my work. So this is the welcome page where, as it says, welcome, and just kind of thank everybody for visiting. And as you can see over here on the left hand side, I have some Scribus projects, Inkscape projects, and Audacity projects. So let's start with the Scribus projects. And I got the link from Creative Commons and I credited that here. Just kind of describe my experience with Scribus in this class, and over on this side are my two artifacts. The first one is the Vaughter lecture poster. This is something that I could use at Portland State University for an event that we're doing next month, or excuse me, in 2 months. So in this poster I used just two fonts. I used Arial and Georgia, different size fonts however, and a couple of different colors, just to make things pop in different areas. I was pretty happy with how this turned out. The photo itself I kind of had to play with a couple of times because of this little shine here and the shine here. It took a while before I realized that those shines are in the original photo. So when it was exported, something in the export process kind of made that a little more obvious. But overall, I'm really happy with how that turned out. The next artifact is my video tutorial, which is actually something that I did in about week 3, which is how to use the eyedrop tool in Scribus. I don't have the upgraded version of Screencast-O-Matic, or else I would play some of the audio, but you all have heard this before, so it's really nothing new. The next thing that I highlighted in the ePortfolio was an Inkscape project that I did. So with this, I hadn't really used Inkscape at all in the class, but I saw some of the work that people had done and it looked really cool, and so I decided that I wanted to investigate it. So this is a photo that I took in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, on a trip that I took a couple years ago. And this moose and his little buddy are very popular. So with Inkscape, it's a vector graphic editor, and what I decided to do with it was create a line drawing. So with that, what I did is I just took the obvious parts of the moose and the mouse and just made some little lines on the most obvious parts. So for example, an obvious part of the moose is its antlers, so I made a line on this part of its antler and on this part of its antler, over here on the antler, and then the little indentations over here and here. Kind of the same idea with his whole face and his neck, his nostril, his eye, and his body. The things that were challenging on this, quite frankly, were making the lines and using the Bezier tool, and also using the nodules. The nodules were really challenging because there was no way to precisely tell Inkscape the thickness that you wanted on the line, and so you had to kind of eyeball it, and sometimes it worked out well and I could move forward, and sometimes it just looked horrible and I had to delete it and start again on that particular area. But yeah, the challenging part that I found here was on the moose's legs. You can see there's a tiny little gap there. If I didn't put the gap, it looked like he was just standing on a big stick. And the first time I tried to put a gap, it looked like he was standing on two little sticks. But I finally found a way that I think was a good compromise. And on the mouse, because he was so little, I had to blow him up really big, and so it was challenging again to get the proper curves on the Bezier tool, and again the proper thickness of the lines using the node tool. So this is what the moose looks like in a real photo, and this is what the moose and the mouse look like in my drawing. So I was pretty pleased with how it turned out, especially the little mouse. His ears were challenging, but I'm really pleased with how they turned out. At first they were really, really thin. You couldn't see them, nor could you see the lines on his body. So thickening these was not a big deal to do, but I had to go back and copy and paste each of his little outlines of his ears and then just lay it on top of the original outline. So it all worked, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. The last part of the ePortfolio is Audacity projects. So I had used Audacity a lot in a class that I took at PSU, and I've also used it a lot here in the Infotech program. But the examples that I have here are audio podcasts that I did for a project at Portland State University. I would play it, but again, I have the free version of Screencast-O-Matic, and with that I can't record computer audio. So you'll just have to go to my project and see what it looks like. So that's my project, and I'm pretty happy with how it turned out, and looking forward to hearing everybody's feedback. Thanks so much.